I've got some very exciting news. We're moving! I am so excited about this. It has been in the works for far too long now, but it's finally happening, and this is the first video in my moving series where I talk about plants that aren't gonna be moving with me. Because let's be honest, there are some things that I could probably stand to get rid of in my collection, and I'm going to talk you through each of these different plants and why I don't want to be taking them with me to our new home. I also quickly want to apologize for having not made my bed. It's because I have not one but two cats here, and what was I going to do? Kick them out of the bed? Absolutely not. That is a sin. And so they're not moving. It's just going to be a little bit messy. The plants in this video aren't perfect. Life isn't perfect. Our house is a little bit chaotic because we're already in the process of packing, so this is just reality. Moving is chaotic. I'm super excited to finally share this news with you because it's been like chugging along in the background for so long, and we're just going to get straight on into these plants that aren't coming with, that aren't making the move. Before we do though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet, so if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. Now let's get into these. I'll talk about this guy first. So this is my Alocasia variegated mycorrhiza, mycorrhiza, and the Odora Batik combo pot. It's kind of got two distinct sections because I've joined them together, and I've kind of had this on my radar for a little while as one that I'm not really in love with anymore. It's really freaking awkward. I find this one a really awkwardly sized sort of thing. Maybe, I was gonna say maybe if I just kept the bottom one, because the bottom one is like kind of compact, but at the same time, I just don't really feel like I need to have this one. I have other variegated Alocasias in my home, like the variegated Mitchelletiana Friedeck that I am absolutely obsessed with, that kind of fills the variegated Alocasia void. I've got other plants that have this sort of white variegation, and so it's not like I am pressed for this kind of vibe without this plant. And so I think it's just finally time for me to accept defeat with it. It's been living in my kitchen for several months now, and so I've been seeing it on the daily, and every time I look at it I'm just like annoyed. Which is sad. I don't want that to be the case about any of my plants, and so it's just not felt like one that's worth packing up. Like if I did move with it and it died, I don't think I'd be like crying over it, and I don't even know if I would necessarily replace it. I just don't feel like I need to, and I feel like someone could get so much more love out of this one than I could. Also, side note, I'm going to be rehoming these where possible. I think there's only a couple that I'm actually going to throw away, and that is for specific reasons. Most of these I'm going to be rehoming probably through Facebook Marketplace because I just can't be bothered to pack them into boxes to ship, and a lot of them are a bit too big to do so. So, like this one, putting that in a box to go in the mail? Nah, and I'm already packing so many boxes anyway on my own. I don't need to pack more with plants that I don't need. So, not gonna keep that one. Another one that I'm just not feeling anymore is my normal Thanksgiving cactus. I just think it's a little bit boring. Like, I think I go through a little bit of phases with plants like this where it is a little bit more of a slow grower. It's a really low maintenance one. It's not one that I have to look after all that frequently. Oh my god, I just got scared it had mealybugs on it. It doesn't, it's just perlite. That was gonna be stressful. That would have put this one straight in the bin. I just don't feel like I necessarily need this one. It is a white flowering one, which is really lovely. That's my favorite of the like holiday cactus flower colors. It's just been sitting on a high shelf kind of as like a gap filler plant, and I am going to try to not have as many of those in the new home. I don't want to like be putting plants places for the sake of it, just like for the sake of having plants. I want to like really, really love everything in my collection, and this one is just not, it's just not one of them. Like jungle cactus wise, I much prefer my fern leaf. I would so happily get rid of this one and replace it with another fern leaf because I love that plant so much that it just doesn't make sense to keep this one, I don't think. And not being funny, if I do really feel like I miss it down the road, it's not like they're particularly hard to find. I do also have my variegated one still, which I do really love, so that one's not going anywhere, but the non-variegated plain one, it's just fine. Like, it's just okay. Let's go for one that's not coming for a different reason. This reason is because it's entirely dead. This is my variegated jade plant, and it completely died in here. I think the issue with this one is that it is quite a small plant, and I think it dried out while I was away in May for 3 weeks. There was also a heat wave during that time, and so I think it dried out a little bit too much. And then when I came home and gave everything a big drink of water, the like roots had already dry rotted, and then they wet rotted when I poured water into it, and it just kind of has been shriveling up and dying ever since. There was a point where I thought I would be able to like save part of it because not all of it was in this sort of bad way, but it's gotten to the point where I genuinely don't think it's savable, and it's such a shame. But that being said, this one did only cost like £2, so I can probably find another one down the line. Maybe I can find a bit of a bigger one because I do really want to have another jade plant down the line, like a variegated one, because I do love the way they look, but there's literally no point in moving a dead plant. So I'm not going to. This next one's not coming with because it technically is a duplicate, and it is growing in worse condition than the other one that I have. This is a Scindapsus tricolor. I do have a second one of these that's in my mixed Scindapsus pot up there, and this is one that Claire ended up giving away because it just kept putting out runners, and you can tell it is just doing the exact same thing for me. It just doesn't want to grow nicely, I don't think, which has been such a pain, and I think somebody else can get better out of this one and can enjoy it. Someone who's really going to take the time to give it the exact care that it needs, rather than me kind of like half-assing it. So I think I'm just going to give this to someone who loves it, and if I wanted to have a Scindapsus tricolor in its own pot down the line, I can take cuttings from my one in there and make it its own pot, but for now I kind of just like how it looks in the big mixed one as opposed to on its own doing kind of poorly. I just find this one to be such a pain in the butt at growing. It's almost like it doesn't want to grow the way that you want it to grow. Like it's only happy and it only produces big leaves when it's on a pole, but it also doesn't want to grow on the pole, which is, it's like, what's the point? If it doesn't want to trail and grow big leaves, and it doesn't want to climb a pole, how does it want to grow? I don't know. I'm tired of it, and I don't need another moss pole to deal with, because like this one is actually pretty fully dry at this point, mostly because I've been so annoyed that it's already gone off that I'm just like, what's the point of me trying to keep it hydrated if it's already not doing what it, like, in theory, should do. Then we have this guy. This is my diamond variegated peace lily, and there is nothing wrong with this plant. It is a very, very good, healthy plant. It has grown so well for me in the time I've had it. I think I'm just not really a peace lily person, and it's just something I have learned about myself over the years. I don't really feel like I need this. And it also is technically quite toxic to the cats, and so if they get their hands on it, or like if Cosmo nibbles at it like he does with a lot of my plants, he's not going to be happy. He might have some like stomach issues or something like that. And so if we can avoid that happening, that's great. For me in this home, it's meant that I've had to put it on a really high shelf, and I just haven't been able to find like the right place for it, given I am moving to a new space, and so maybe I would be able to find space in the new space, but at the same time, I just don't really feel like I need it. that's the gist of it. I mean, that's all I have to say. I can just say I don't want it anymore. That is completely perfectly valid, and I don't have to justify why that is the case, but yeah, I just don't really feel like I need it anymore. I've loved it in the past. It's grown really well for me, but I have so many other plants that I like more that I don't really feel like this one is, it's not giving. It's just not giving, and that's okay. On this one, I've been procrastinating taking these leaves off because I wanted to show you, because I wanted to talk about it in this video. This is my Alocasia bisma, and it is abysmal. And I say this every single freaking time. I have had to start over my Alocasia bisma probably 4 or 5 times, and we are nearly at that point again. I think it is putting out a bit of new growth now, but I have never, ever, ever been able to get this one to stop like giving up on itself. Every single time I get it to the point where it's looking good again, it suddenly, like some sort of something goes wrong with it, and it just decides it no longer wants to live, it kicks off and drops its main leaves, and I've had to start it over and over and over and over and over again, and I don't need that. I genuinely do not need that. While I think the bisma leaves are really pretty when they're looking nice, more often than not for me in this one, it is not looking nice. And so I can get those beautiful silver Alocasia leaves elsewhere. There are other really nice silver Alocasias out there that I can get that from that isn't this piece of that just constantly has to be restarted over and over again. So I'm not bringing this with me. This one, I'm tempted to put this one straight in the bin, gonna be honest. Maybe it's just the genes that this one has, that it's just had to keep going and keep going. And I'm good at Alocasias. Not to toot my own horn, but I am good at them. I can keep a lot of them alive and happy and like not cycling, I'd say quite well. But this one is just, I swear it just doesn't want to live. It just doesn't want to, and so why would I want to give somebody else that stress if I can't even get it to do the right thing, you know? This one I've been talking about for a while as one that annoys me. It is the Dracaena goldieana, and honestly I think this one only really looks good from the top. I think it looks really nice like this, but from the side, in the way that you would normally see it, I don't think it looks nice enough for me to have in my home. Like, it looks so sparse, you almost, it's not like you can't see it, obviously you can, but like, I really feel like this one needs to be viewed from the top, and I don't want to have to deal with that. This one is such a cool one. I do really like the idea of it. I think it looks so unlike a Dracaena. Like, it's very much so different than all of the other Dracaenas I've ever seen or had, and I like that about it. But I just haven't had the love for it that I thought that I was going to. I've also, I think, lost quite a bit of the bottom of the plant, which is very normal for Dracaenas. I've lost a lot of leaves down there, and I don't think that has helped with the aesthetics situation. And so maybe it is one that I could be tempted to try again in the future because it is so cool. But for me, this one just hasn't suited me or my home, and the leaves are dusty because I'm too lazy to dust them because I don't love it enough to do so. And so I think that just tells me that I'm not gonna be that sad without it, which is the perfect excuse to not move with it. Another Alocasia on this list, which I know I said I'm good at Alocasias, but I do have 3 on this list. But I think part of that is because in general, I'd say maybe about a quarter of my collection, maybe just less than that, is Alocasias. I'm pretty sure a good 20, 25 of them are Alocasias. So it's not a surprise that if I have so many Alocasias that a good chunk of this collection of plants that I'm not bringing with me is Alocasias. This one is an Alocasia Regal Shield. Again, this is one that I have just been struggling with for so long. I have tried so many Regal Shields in my home, and I've got a lot of them as more like immature or baby plants, and I think that might be where I have gone wrong. In the past, I've thought I've just gotten ones without good genes, but I've never been able to get them to grow particularly nice for me, which is a shame because when they are big and nice, I love the way they look. I think they're so freaking beautiful, but I have never been able to get them to grow like that in my home. I've tried to put multiple plants in this pot in order to kind of like fill it out a little bit and get it to look like a nice fuller plant. But then after I did that, loads of you were saying that your Alocasia regal shield only liked being a single pot in the plant, and so I don't know. Also, loads of you have said they like small pots, some of you have said they like big pots, and so I've tried everything with this one, and I've never been able to get it to a point of being happy in my home. And at this point it's just kind of sitting like this, and I don't need that. I don't need the stress. I don't need to add another plant to my collection that I need to worry about. And so I think, again, giving this one to someone who's going to absolutely love it is going to be better than me holding on to it and slowly resenting it and staring at it and thinking about how much I don't like it. Oh, I've got one Hoya on this list, and it is the Hoya rotundiflora, I believe it is. And I think I got this one at like a plant swap or in a trade or something, and it's been perfectly fine. It has grown really well. It's branched out for me. I just don't think that this is like my sort of Hoya. I in general prefer, I think, more waxy leafed Hoyas. This one does have a little bit of like furry leaves. Can you even see that? The leaves are, I don't know, the leaves are a little bit furry on this one, and that, I don't know, they don't bring me that same joy as the waxy ones with the silver spots do. Those are the type of Hoya that I just cannot get enough of in my home, and this is one that I know a Hoya head who's really into like their odd weird Hoyas would absolutely love. And so I think I just need to pass it on to someone who's going to give it that love and care and can grow it out into the big beautiful plant that I know it can be. Because like I said, it has grown so much. I'm pretty sure it only had like maybe 3 or 4 leaves on it when I originally got it, and now it's really doing something here. So I have full faith that this one is going to grow really well for someone. I just don't think that someone needs to be me, and so I'm not gonna bring it with me. This one was a wishlist plant last year, and I ended up getting my hands on it, and it did not live up to my expectations. This is the Aglaonema pictum tricolor. Some cool leaves in there. It is fun and funky. It is velvety. Like, I really wanted to love this one. I think part of it is a lot of you dissuaded me from liking it by saying it was a little bit of a faffy plant when I told you it was on my wish list, which, I mean, it's totally fair. You can have your own experience with it. I've not found that it's particularly difficult. I do have it in no drainage in semi-hydro, so that has probably helped a little bit water-wise on this one. But I haven't found it incredibly faffy, but I've also not found that it has grown particularly well. It is a little bit on the slower side, and I think the only reason that mine actually looks decent is because there's so many plants in the pot. There's like 5 in there, and that's the only reason why it has stayed so bushy looking in here, because if it was just one of these on its own, it wouldn't be nearly as attractive. But I've kind of found that this one has gotten shoved to the back of my IKEA cabinet, and to me that's a sign that I don't want to be seeing it on the everyday. It's not like in a prominent space. I end up forgetting about it a little bit more, and it has totally tolerated that neglect. So like I said, it's not been as difficult as some of you made it out to be, but I think that already tarnished my like desire for this one in the first place, and then it ended up sitting in the back of my cabinet, and I've just not been enjoying it as much as I would have wanted to. You can tell I'm really trying to make sure that these plants are getting the love that they deserve, that I'm rehoming them before they get to the point, for the most part, that they need to be binned, because I used to have a really bad habit of that, and I'm really trying to not do that. So I'm trying to realize my lack of love early enough that I can rehome them as opposed to chucking them for the most part. These last two are probably the biggest surprises. First one being my Anthurium warocqueanum. I am so over this plant. It has been an absolute terrible time growing it. I have had so many struggles. I've tried it in the cabinet, outside of the cabinet. It grew out of the cabinet. I had to move it out of the cabinet. It was growing really well outside of that. And then it just stopped. It went completely stagnant, and since then I've been on a bit of a roller coaster with it. It did put out this leaf, and for a long time this leaf was literally perfect. It was the most beautiful, perfect leaf, and then it started going downhill, and then I saw that it was pushing out a new leaf, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so exciting. It's gonna be good again. Like, I can make it work. I can make it happen. Tell me why this new leaf has gone completely dead. It is entirely dried up. It is not going to live. And so that has just been the final straw with this one. If it was gonna put out a new leaf, like it did when it put this one out and saved itself from being one that I was tempted to get rid of, like, I think this was at the end of last year that I was tempted to get rid of it before this leaf came out. If it had fully put this one out, it might have saved itself, but since it decided to drop this one as well, I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want this stress, and it's such a shame because warocqueanums are beautiful, beautiful plants. I found that they look so nice online on Instagram. I've seen loads of you grow beautiful ones. I've not had the best of luck with it, and maybe it's another one that I will try a different physical plant in the future. I would be so down to do that. But for me, with this one, it's had its last chance, and it's finally gonna be, I mean, I suppose I could give this one away. I would feel quite bad doing that though. Like, I guess if someone wants a rescue mission, absolutely fine. They can have a warocqueanum rescue mission on the real cheap / free if they want to come pick it up. All of these plants are probably gone by now, so don't message me about them. Yeah, it's just been an absolute struggle and a slog with this one, and I am so over it. And then the final plant is the Philodendron ernestii, which is a little bit of a sad one because it is such an unusual philodendron. Very uncommon. I really don't see it being sold much here. Most people wouldn't have this philodendron, and so that is something I think is really cool about it because it's like a little bit rare and special. But that rarity and speciality does not make up for the fact that, one, this is growing so ugly and weird. Two, this one has thrips, and it's been struggling with thrips for ages. I find that they get into the little like vein creases on the leaves, and they are so hard to get rid of. Unfortunately, I think this one is going to be one that ends up in the bin because it has been such a thrip magnet for me. It's been like, I've had thrips on this one several times, and they just keep coming back to this plant in particular, and I'm just done here. Honestly, I currently have this one quarantining because I don't want it touching any of my other houseplants because I don't want them to get thrips as well. And I don't know, I think it just needs to go in the bin, be out of my sight, be out of my home, and not be causing problems anymore because it has caused so many in its time in my home. And yeah. It's also last because I didn't want to touch it and then touch any of my other plants, even though I'm getting rid of those ones. I don't want it to touch them and give them thrips before I potentially rehome them. That is not cool. I don't want to give anyone thrips. So yeah, I'm going to wash my hands right after this video before I put any of these away or anything. But yeah, those are 12. I've got 12 plants here that I am getting rid of before my move that aren't going to be moving with me. which is crazy. I do want to say I'm going to be doing a like repot and chat video just after I have moved, answering all of your questions about the move. So if you want to put them down below in the comments, go for it, and maybe I will answer your question in that video. Did I say I'm moving to Wales? We're moving to Wales. It's gonna be really fun. So very, very excited for what is to come. I have a lot of things to show you, from packing my plants and what I'm nervous about to the actual move, showing you the new place and styling in there and all of that fun stuff. So stick around, keep an eye out for my future videos about the move because it's gonna be really exciting. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!